Good day, everyone, and welcome to Breaking Bulletin, your trusted source for local, regional, and international updates from your town to the global stage. We are addressing the critical questions today. What is needed for Canada to become the 51st state, and what are the different ways this could occur? According to Reuters on March 7, 2025, United States President Donald Trump suggested Canada join as the 51st state to avoid 25% tariffs, paused until April 2nd, per the same source. Canada Prime Minister Justin Trudeau dismissed this on MSNBC on January 12th. Per BBC, stating there is no chance of it happening, per Global News on February 12, 2025. Canada has a population of 41.6 million and a 2.8 trillion Canadian dollar gross domestic product. Per Statistics Canada in 2024, the United States boasts a $26.9 trillion gross domestic product per the International Monetary Fund in 2024. And imports 558 billion United States dollars from Canada annually, per United States Census Bureau in 2023. Trump claimed Canada costs United States $200 billion yearly, per time on February 9, 2025, a figure debunked as trade volume, not loss, by Associated Press, per the same source. These nations share a 5,525-mile border, per Global News on February 13, 2025, making their ties deep and complex. For Canada to become the 51st state, legal steps, economic pressures, and political agreement must align in specific ways. Different pathways exist, from voluntary union to forced integration, each facing massive hurdles. We will explore these needs and possibilities using data from Reuters, Global News, and more to answer these questions clearly. This is Breaking Bulletin. Please like this video, share it with your community, subscribe for more local, regional, and international updates, and comment below, could Canada ever join United States as a state? Stay tuned as we break down this bold idea. What is needed legally for Canada to become the 51st state begins with strict constitutional rules in both nations. Canada Constitution Act 1982, Section 41, requires unanimous approval from the House of Commons, Senate, and all 10 provincial legislatures to dissolve or join another country. Per CTV News on January 9, 2025, Professor Adam Chapnick at Canadian Forces College told CTV News that Indigenous nations over 600 hold treaty rights, adding another layer of consent, per the same source. Without this full agreement, Canada cannot legally become a state, per Frederic Berard at Université de Montréal, per CTV News. The United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 3, outlines its process for admitting new states, per Global News on February 13, 2025. A majority vote in the House of Representatives and 60 votes in the 100-seat Senate, enough to overcome a filibuster, are required, followed by presidential approval, per the same source. Trump would likely sign such a bill, per time on February 9, 2025, but Congress must first agree, which is uncertain, per Reuters on March 7, 2025. Historical examples like Texas, annexed in 1845 after petitioning, show a path, per PBS News on February 13, 2025, but Canada's scale complicates this. One way Canada could become the 51st state is through voluntary union, starting with a national referendum. If Canadians vote yes, and likely, with 90% opposed, per Angus Reid Institute via War on the Rocks on February 14, 2025, Canada dissolves its federation and petitions United States Congress. The United States would grant Canada 55 House seats based on 41.6 million people divided by 761,169 per district. Per United States Census Bureau 2020, plus 2 senators, per PBS News. However, the Permanent Apportionment Act, 1929, caps the House at 435, per Global News, shrinking other states' shares and sparking resistance, per Reuters. Another way involves individual provinces seeking statehood, such as Alberta with 4.4 million people, per Statistics Canada in 2024. Alberta would need Canada-wide approval to leave, per CTV News. Then United States Congress could admit it with 6 House seats, per our estimate from United States Census Bureau data. Quebec, with 8.7 million French speakers, per Statistics Canada, would block this, per Lowy Institute on January 13, 2025, halting the process. This pathway splits Canada, but faces legal walls on both sides, per National Post on December 12, 2024. A third, drastic way is forced annexation, though it is improbable. Trump could use economic pressure like 25% tariffs, per NPR on February 1, 2025, to push Canada, but military action violates NATO ties, per Reuters. The War of 1812 showed United States' failure to take Canada, per War on the Rocks, and modern law forbids it, per CTV News. Legal needs Canada consent and United States votes make this a steep climb, per Global News. Please like, share, subscribe to Breaking Bulletin, and comment below. Can these legal barriers be overcome? We bring you updates from your town and beyond. What is needed economically for Canada to become the 51st state often ties to trade leverage? Canada exports $664 billion Canadian dollars, annually 75% to United States, per Statistics Canada in 2023, while United States imports $558 billion United States dollars from Canada, per United States Census Bureau, per Reuters on March 7, 2025. Trump tariffs 25% on Canada goods, 10% on oil, per NPR on February 1, 2025 threatened this flow, paused until April 2nd. Per Reuters, Canada launched a $6.5 billion Canadian dollar aid package to counter this, per the same source, but pressure persists, per CTV News on March 7, 2025. One way Canada could become the 51st state is through economic surrender driven by these tariffs. If Canada economy 2.8 trillion Canadian dollars, per Statistics Canada loses 2% gross domestic product yearly, per Bank of Canada on January 30, 2025, it might seek United States statehood to end trade barriers. United States gains Canada resources 1.1 billion tons of potash, oil, timber, per Natural Resources Canada boosting its $26.9 trillion gross domestic product by 10%, per our estimate from Reuters Trends. Canada secures free markets but sacrifices independence, per National Post on March 9, 2025. Another way involves forming a customs union short of statehood, blending economies without full merger. Canada-United States-Mexico agreement could evolve into a European Union-style bloc, per the Star on December 19, 2024, with shared trade rules and no tariffs, per Reuters. Canada retains Ottawa governance, while United States avoids Congress battles over seats, per Global News on February 13, 2025. Existing ties like NORAD support this gradual integration, per Musgrave. Substack on December 5, 2024, offering benefits without statehood, per CTV News. A third way sees regional economic alignment pulling provinces like Alberta into United States orbit. Alberta oil key to United States Midwest, per the Narwhal on March 7, 2025 could prompt a statehood bid, bypassing Canada approval if tariffs crush its 4.4 million people, per Statistics Canada. United States might admit Alberta alone, per Global News, but Canada legal resistance would delay this, per National Post. Economic need trade survival could force Canada hand, but defiance holds strong, per Reuters. Please like, share, subscribe to Breaking Bulletin, and comment below. Can trade pressure make Canada a state? We deliver local, regional, and international updates daily. What is needed politically for Canada to become the 51st state depends on agreement from leaders and citizens. Canada polls show 90% oppose statehood, per Angus Reid Institute via War on the Rocks on February 14, 2025, with Trudeau firm against it. Per Global News on February 12, 2025, United States lacks broad support Trump pushes solo, per Politico on February 11, 2025, but no senators or governors back him, per the same source. Gallup and Pew surveys show United States favors Canada, but not as a state, per PBS News on February 13, 2025. One way Canada could become the 51st state is through a national vote approving union. A referendum passing against 90% odds, per Angus Reid, would trigger Canada dissolution and a United States petition. Per BBC on January 12, 2025, United States Congress might welcome 63% left-leaning Canadians, per The Conversation on January 5, 2025, but Republicans resist losing power, per the same source. This path demands Canada public shift and likely now, per Reuters on March 7, 2025. Another way involves United States formally inviting Canada to join as a state. Congress could pass a resolution, 60 Senate votes, per Global News, and Trump would sign, per Time, but Canada refusal stops it. Per National Post, provinces like Quebec, 8.7 million strong, per Statistics Canada, guard French identity, per Lowy Institute on January 13, 2025. Killing any deal, per CTV News. Ontario, 14.8 million, rivals big United States states and stays loyal to Canada, per National Post on December 12, 2024. A third way sees a province like Alberta breaking away to join United States independently. Alberta, with 4.4 million people, per Statistics Canada, might petition due to oil ties, per the Narwhal, but Canada Constitution blocks it, per CTV News. United States could accept, per Global News, yet Canada resistance halts progress, per Reuters. Political need mutual, yes, is a long shot, per National Post. Please like, share, subscribe to Breaking Bulletin, and comment below. Will politics allow this union? We bring you news from your town to the world. What is needed globally for Canada to become the 51st state includes managing international fallout. United States, with a $26.9 trillion gross domestic product per the International Monetary Fund in 2024, controls 25% of world trade per World Trade Organization in 2023, and Canada joining shifts this per Reuters on March 7, 2025. Europe, with a $20 trillion gross domestic product per the International Monetary Fund, worries about NATO-Canada exit weakens it. Per National Post on March 9, 2025, China, at $4 trillion. Per Bloomberg, gains if United States focuses inward, per Reuters. One way Canada becomes the 51st state is full union, altering global power. United States absorbs Canada resources, potash, oil, per the Narwhal, strengthening its economy, per Reuters, but allies like Europe question borders, per Politico on February 11, 2025. Russia, with a $2 trillion gross domestic product per the International Monetary Fund, might push Arctic claims, per War on the Rocks on February 14, 2025, citing Trump precedent. Per National Post, trade networks adjust Canada's $664 billion Canadian exports merge into United States, per Statistics Canada, per Global News. Another way is an economic bloc, avoiding statehood but tightening ties. Canada and United States align trade European Union model, per the Star on December 19, 2024, easing global fears, per Reuters, while NATO holds, per National Post. Canada keeps sovereignty, United States secures borders, per Musgrave. Substack on December 5, 2024, and world trade stabilizes, per CTV News. China and Europe adapt without panic. Per Global News on February 13, 2025, a third-way Canada fracturing sparks chaos if provinces like Alberta join United States alone. Canada unity cracks, per National Post, weakening NATO and trade, per Reuters as Russia eyes gaps, per War on the Rocks, global markets Europe, China real, per Bloomberg, from uncertainty, per CTV News, world stability needs Canada intact or aligned, per National Post. Please like, share, subscribe to Breaking Bulletin, and comment below. How would this affect your region? We deliver local, regional, and international updates daily. What is needed moving forward for Canada to become the 51st state depends on near-term choices. One way is voluntary Union Canada votes yes by 2026, per our estimate from Reuters Trends. But 90% opposition, per Angus Reid via War on the Rocks, stalls it, per Global News on February 13, 2025. United States Congress approves 60 Senate votes. Per the same source, but Canada refusal holds firm, per National Post on March 9, 2025. This path needs a massive opinion shift. Per CTV News on January 9, 2025. Another way is economic collapse forcing Canada hand by April 2nd. Per Reuters on March 7, 2025. Tariffs 25%. Per NPR cut Canada $2.8 trillion Canadian dollar gross domestic product, per Statistics Canada, pushing statehood talks, per National Post. Canada $6.5 billion Canadian dollar aid resists, per Reuters, diversifying to Asia, Europe. Per the Narwhal on March 7, 2025. United States talks fentanyl, trade, per Department of Finance Canada could ease pressure. Per Global News, avoiding union, per CTV News. A third way sees Alberta 4.4 million strong, per Statistics Canada, breaking for United States statehood by 2027, per our estimate. Canada Constitution blocks exit, per CTV News, and United States hesitates amid legal fights, per National Post. Trump pushes, per Time on February 9, 2025, but Canada unity prevails, per Reuters. Future needs agreement or coercion lean towards standoff, per Global News. Please like, share, subscribe to Breaking Bulletin, and comment below. What future do you predict? We keep you posted from your town to the globe. What is needed for Canada to become the 51st state requires Canada unanimous consent. Per CTV News on January 9, 2025, and United States Congress approval 60 Senate votes, per Global News on February 13, 2025. Different ways include voluntary union, economic pressure, or provincial splits all face 90% Canada opposition, per Angus Reid via War on the Rocks. Per Reuters on March 7, 2025, Trump tariffs 25%. Per NPR push the idea, but Canada stands firm, per National Post on March 9, 2025. We have answered these questions with clear pathways and steep odds, per Global News. Canada 41.6 million people and United States $26.9 trillion economy. Per the International Monetary Fund, are bound by trade $558 billion United States dollars, per United States Census Bureau, but not destiny, per Reuters. Local impacts Alberta oil, per the Narwhal meet global stakes NATO. China watch, per National Post. This is Breaking Bulletin. Please like this video. Share it across your community. Subscribe for more local, regional, and international updates, and comment below. Will Canada ever be the 51st state? We bring you the latest from your town to the world stage. Stay with us as this story evolves.